Within all three sources lurks this strange substance called unbelief or anti-faith. Here's how it works. Let's say you have someone who is really, really sick and is asking for prayer. And let's say that your prayer, the units of faith it's going to take to heal that person, see that person healed, the measures of faith, or measure of faith, is going to be 100 units of faith in order to get that person healed. This principle tells us the 100 units of faith doesn't have to come just from the person that's being prayed for or the person doing the praying. It can come from both sources. It can come from the corporate nature of others in the room. So the 100 units of faith can come from multiple sources, but it needs to be the sum total of the parts, meaning people in the room. So it could be faith from the instigator, faith from the receiver, and faith from the corporate body, if that applies. If the sum total of the faith equals 100 units or greater, the person's healed. So this is an extremely simplified explanation, but let me just make it even more simpler. Let's say that we need healing. Somebody needs healing. Here we have 100 units of faith that is necessary for healing. If I have that 100 units of faith, the person gets healed. If they have the 100 units of faith, the person gets healed. If the total sum of the faith in the room, meaning all y'all are seeing their faith, he healed them, and it equals 100, the person gets healed. So let's take it one step further. Let's remember the man who said, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. Take it one step further. If I have 50 units of faith and the person who says, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief has 50 units of faith, the person gets healed because it totals to 100 units or measures of faith. Now, let's take it one step further. And that is, let's say the person that needs healing has 50 units of faith. I have 25 units of faith, and the corporate people in the room have 25 units of faith. That totals 100, so it's 100 units for healing, totals 100 units or measures of faith, the person gets healed. Remarkable. See how this is really simple, and yes, it's a little more complicated than that, but it tells you why Jesus put people out of the room, or Jesus took people from where they were to another location in order to pray for them so that the total faith of the room was able to rise up and the person be healed. Now, let's take it one step further. Let's say that I have 100 measures of faith, 100 units of faith. That's what it takes to see the person healed. Now, obviously, it could take 25 in some cases, 50, because we talked about miracles take more faith than healings do. That's why Jesus could perform healings, but he couldn't do miracles in his hometown. But let's just say, for example, it takes 100 units of faith for a person to be healed. I had that 100 units of faith. Or let's just say, take it away from me, let's say the person that is asking me to pray for them or ask you to pray for them, they have 100 units of faith. So when the prayer is offered up, healing should take place. But let's just say this. In the room with you was a person that wasn't just doubting. They actually thought that God couldn't heal. That was unbelief or anti-faith. So they had, not a lot, let's just say 5 units of unbelief or anti-faith. Now what happens is the 100 units that we had now is no longer 100 units, it's 95 units. This is the principle why Jesus removed people from the room, like at Jairus' house, removed people from not only the room, the entire house, and prayed for the daughter with just the parents and his disciples by his side. So there was no unbelief. The room was full of as much units of faith as possible. So unbelief, we find, subtracts from the overall sum of faith in the room. Jesus did say on more than one occasion that when we ask anything of him, to believe that we have received it. That means to have faith in God, and when we have faith in God, believe that we've received, and it'll happen. So faith is required when we pray. Sometimes we pray out of obligation, but we forget to believe. That happens a lot. People feel like they have to pray, but there's no belief when they pray. It's not like it's unbelief, but there's just no faith in the prayer. Believing means more than just hoping. It means visualizing in your soul and your spirit that the prayer is already answered. It's done. That's flexing what I call your faith muscles. That's how the kingdom of heaven works.